The mighty Tyrant,
Can you
Conklin,
get that?
welcome.
Hi, welcome.
How are you?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, summer has started in Greece, except it's the beginning of summer, so there's like 2 weeks of rain.
You bet. It's a weird summer so far. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's been pretty wet, so and damp. But yeah, I'll bet it's going to be super hot.
Yes.
Last year we had 2 weeks of just insane 105 degrees, like 40, 45 degrees Celsius, 45 in Athens. Sometimes people were dying in the streets. So I think it's going to be super hot like that again,
Yes.
the end of July, 1st of August.
Yes, it will. And let's see how that one will go. Because it's going to be hard and rush and rough and all that. Congratulations on the album, the new
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
11th studio full album so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't count the reissues.
You bet. And my first question, it's a concept album, Hallowed, right?
Yes.
How did you come up with the story? Because I know you are
Well,
one of the people who wrote the story.
yeah, usually what happens is when we come to do an album, Mark will decide on the artwork. So usually he has a couple of songs that he starts with, and then he picks the artwork. And either he'll do it himself if the band likes his images that he does, or sometimes he'll get an artist from the outside. So he shopped around this time, and because he didn't have the time to digitally do it, and he found a piece from Dusan Markovic, and he really liked it. So he put it forward to the band, and we liked it too. And we liked it so much that the painting kind of evokes a story.
Mm-hmm.
So he and Rickert, Mark Brady and Rickert, the drummer, came up saying, "Okay, well, let's do another concept." And Mark, he's crazy about concept albums. Blind Guardian's one of his favorite bands, and the Iced Earth Dark Saga, really love that. Anyway, so we started in on it, and I was really excited. So I started in on the story, and like with any concept, you need a synopsis. You need some kind of framework to keep the direction.
Right.
So I just started in on the story, and about maybe 3 weeks later, I came up with a story and presented it to the guys, and I expected them to come back with feedback, but no, they loved it. And they said, you know what, we love the story. We're just going to stick with it and go with it. So I'm like, cool. So I started in on the writing right away. Mark had already about three and a half songs that he had presented to the band. So I just kind of found out how they fit in the story and started writing lyrics. And I tried to keep my lyrics open to where it could not only fit along with the story, but it could really get into people's lives and associate with what we're doing every day. And I think we did a great job on that. The music is amazing. Mark wrote the whole album this time.
Mm-hmm.
The parts that Ken added to for the lead guitar and the little guitar bits that he does in between the verses and the bridges are just amazing. Everything fits really well together. We all did a great job musically.
Harry, because of the fact that you are also responsible for the vocal melodies, not just the lyrics on this one, was it difficult or easy to adapt lyrics regarding, the songs and how the melodies went in each one of them?
No, it was surprisingly easy with this album.
Mm-hmm.
What was hard for me, though, was to keep it small and do as less words as possible and give it that open approach. So I had to go over and over and over and pull up my thesaurus and find things. But I think I just put it down to as little words as possible and kept it nice and open so there's a breathability about it. So, but yeah, I just once we had the story down, everybody was just really excited about the whole concept of the album. And so it was real easy to get our creative juices flowing. Yeah, real easy.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take the creative procedure from the time that you started working on the songs until you were done with the recordings?
Well, we finished all the demo work. Let's say all the songs were put together and all the parts of the songs were put together, but we didn't have segues to tie the songs and make it a concept. But all the songs were written, I'd say, within about a 3.5 month period. And then we started in with the segues and what we're going to say and who's going to say it. And that was another couple months. And so probably took about maybe between 7 and 9 months until we had the complete work done. And then it was another 3 months until we had the mixing window open at Morrisound. And then it was yet another month until Maor Applebaum had scheduling space for us to master it. So pretty much a year from the beginning of writing songs to where it was album ready.
I read about the mixing with Jim Morris, and I was really glad and thrilled, I have to say, with the Morris Sound Studios and all that. Where did you record your vocals? Where'd you go?
I recorded my vocals actually in the basement of Mark's studios. Mm-hmm. I've recorded my voices there since Age of Mastery, and so I really like the environment. Mark and I work really well together. He can pull things out of me. He can keep me online, in time, on pitch, all that stuff. We have a great time together when we record, and he has a state-of-the-art, top-notch studio in his basement. He's got like expensive mics, expensive recording gear. So it's a very easy environment. Plus, I pretty much he's got a house big enough that I can actually stay there the whole time I'm recording and not have to leave and come back. So that makes things easy too.
Very important. Very important. How are things with the schedule? I mean, once the album is out, June the 26th or 23rd, is it?
23rd, I think 23rd. It is, yes.
Then what's the next move for Jag Panzer? I mean, live-wise and promotion-wise, what are you guys up to?
Well, the personal Jag Panzer promotion will start slowing down. We've only just come up with like the lead-in promotion, but then all the real promotion is going to start from Atomic Fire. And what we're hoping to get out of it is that some of these songs might chart well and get a little bit of longevity on the charts. Mm-hmm. And then that'll dictate how long we stay out on the road and how many places we can hit. But we hope to get on some really big tours. We're already hitting some large festivals. We got that planned. Bakken and Headbangers Open Air, and also a festival in Wisconsin, the Metal Blades of Steel Festival. That's coming up. That's really huge. But, we'd like to do the one-offs, but we kind of want to move out of the clubs and go into a theater aspect. So hopefully these songs will project us into that. We think we did well enough on the promotion, the lead-in promotion, and I think the album's going to be strong enough to probably put us there. But that's our goals for the near future, is to reach as many people for as long as possible.
Because of the fact that the album is concept, maybe at some point you'll decide to play the entire album from beginning to the end. I mean, it's up to you, of course, the schedule, the touring, and if you're going to be alone on touring or somebody else opening up for you or all that. Did it ever cross your mind to think about playing the entire album as a live
that's kind of how we approached this whole album. We wanted to give it a live feel. We wanted to go all the way back to the beginning and play things as live as possible. So the drums were in a huge room with the bass player right there alongside of him. The guitars were recorded in a huge room, super loud. Rickard was in the room with him. John was in the room with him sometimes. Eric, the touring bassist, was in the room with him at times. So we just wanted this live feel, and we approached the songs as open and live as possible. So we could actually do this if you want to live, and there's not going to be a whole lot of problems or difficulties with segues and noises that have to come and go. But Jag Panzer's been popular with that. We record through a click track, and we have things come and go in between songs. We have backing choral arrangements and gongs and jets and stuff flying in our show. And so, we're popular for that. But yeah, we geared this whole album to eventually get to a place to where we can play it live in its entirety. But yeah, that's going to require a long set.
No problem about that. In terms of your audience, of course. The
Yeah.
the bigger the set list, better for us,
3-hour show, just like Guns N' Roses and Rush,
Even better. um, when it comes to what you said just a while earlier about technology, click track, and pre-recorded and all that. How did you feel with the technology coming up? I mean, when you are on stage and you have all this high tech supporting you, how do you feel about that?
Well, we've had that for years. We've had records going on a click track way back since Age of Mastery, and so we're used to that. And we take the very same click track that we record with, and we use that live. So the songs will sound pretty much the same they do off the record. So we rarely deviate from that click track, so we can keep the show at a good pace. Sometimes we have video synced with it. Sometimes we have the lights synced with it, and so that helps us out. But yeah, we're used to doing that, and so we kind of know how to play in and out of that click to give it that easygoing feel. It's not robotic in any way at all. It still feels approachable. It still feels open and live. Because we've been doing it for so long, it's almost seamless to us.
About the album, the new album, of course. Have you prepared, or are you in the process of giving us another video clip?
Yeah, there's going to be another video coming out too. We just had Edge of the Knife come out a few weeks ago, but then we have Dark Descent that's on its way, and there's going to be another card coming at the people too. And then we have our last and final one that Mark has alluded to, and that's called Pray. And I think he's going to do that pretty soon here. And that's actually the second song on the album, and that's really cool. It has like a punk feel to it, and there's not real lead guitar in it, but there is a guitar element in it, and it's really cool.
Do you ever take a moment to think that you are one of the greatest voices in heavy metal history?
You know what? I don't really pay attention to that. I've had other people tell me that for many years, but I'm always just going to be that constant student. There's always some other thing that I can learn about myself. There's always something that somebody else is going to teach me. There's always something that I'm going to see in somebody else that I want to do and try to do that. And, trying to keep up with all these songs and get my longevity to play an hour and a half in a 2-hour show at my age is really difficult. So I have to constantly train, and I have to constantly be singing. And it's a little bit easier, but at the same time, it's a little bit harder, so things don't always work the same when your car is 30 years old, You can keep the oil in it for as long as you can, and that engine will run. But there's other parts too, like shocks and wheels and brakes, that wear out. So, yeah, I'm just blessed to have gone on this long, and I try my best to keep it up. But yeah, even though I've been awarded and granted all these things on stage and had fans come up to me like, "Oh, you're the reason that I started this band," or, "I want to do the things you do." That's just like the greatest compliment, because I was that way with Dio, and I was that way with Dickinson, and I was that way when I met, Rob Halford, and I was like, "Oh," and I totally fanboyed out on him and stuff, and I didn't mean to, but I mean, you can't help it. You have your personal heroes growing up, and I'm just honored and thankful that I'm now someone else's personal hero. Hope I can continue living up to it.
Don't you worry one bit about that. When it comes to live appearances and recordings, two totally different things. Being in the studio, being on stage. You like them equally. You enjoy them equally.
Oh, well, you almost answered your own question. They're two different, completely different entities. You know, when you're in the recording booth, especially for a singer, you're in a trapped, solo environment, and at least with Mark and I, we can be in the same room and we can reach out and touch each other. He's right there. And so, as long as he's quiet and stuff, then we can get good tracks. But it's nice to have that solitude of recording in the studio. But then when you're live, that's a chance for you to just let it all out and let the songs, like, let your soul breathe these songs, and you can do a little bit of that in the studio. You can allow yourself to kind of pretend that you're somewhere else, but it's a little bit controlled in the studio. So in live sometimes is where people really shine, because they can just let it go and not have to worry about being so accurate and so precise. They can be a little bit off and a little bit crazy, and it's just going to add to their performance.
The magic of the live thing, right?
Yeah, it is magic, especially when you have people that have been around for so long. My brothers, we've known each other for 40 years, and I've known Rickard, on and off for 20, 25 years. So we have that magnetic chemistry, that creates real nice magic on stage.
Satisfied with your label?
Yes, I really am. These are the same guys that started and created and grew Nuclear Blast, so they know what's going on. And to find out that Marcus Wolfgang was a big fan of Jag Panzer, that was what sealed the deal for us. Because he shares our same views and our same vision that Jag Panzer does, and I think our relationship is the best ever.
You have a great fan base in Greece.
Oh yes.
So I can only assume that when you're scheduling the next tour, that for the one for Hallowed maybe will be amongst cities, the country that you'll visit.
Oh yeah, we've already just had a tour to where I had to add the Thessaloniki show, because we had Greece and then we had Crete. And so we're like, oh man, we got to play Thessaloniki, because that's my digs. So we actually added that show at the last minute just to be there. And I'm glad we did, because it was a packed house that night. And yeah, we've had Greece friends for here, and we've got huge Polish fans. So we want to make sure that this album brings us back to those places, so we can, not have such a long time in between, when people get to see us and experience the Jag Panzer live show.
How is your Greek becoming, by the way?
It's getting a little bit better. I still just know numbers and colors and, hello and goodbye, but I'm starting to learn, the words that tie things together and do 3 and 4 word sentences. The best part is now I can fairly understand the conversation around me. So instead of a fly on the wall, I can kind of, get what everybody's saying.
You can even order in Greek?
Yeah, I'm able to order my own food and answer the doors and answer my own drink, ask for my own drinks and things like that. So it's great. It's getting a little easier, but it's been 4 or 5 years. So I've only been in Greece hardcore for the last 2 years here, ever since the pandemic. But prior to that, I was, in and out of Greece. So now it's been a little easier. And plus my wife is an English teacher, so she's helping me with these things along. Slowly but surely.
Yep. That's progress. The definition of progress. Harry, I just have one more question to ask you. Before I do that, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for taking the time to do this interview, and I wish you nothing but the best with the new album, The Hallowed, and of course the upcoming tour and everything associated with this album. All the best to you and the guys, Jag Panzer. You've been around for all these years, singing, creating music, and of course making that music part of our lives as fans. What is the driving force behind such a great metal locomotive like Jag Panzer and the Mighty Tyrant?
We just we're fans of our own stuff, and we're going to continue being fans of our own stuff. So when there comes a point to where we're no longer fans of our own stuff, then we have to rethink what we're doing. But you know, we're getting up there in our late 50s and early 60s, so, and we're still happy with what we're doing and happy with the sound that's coming out. So I think we're going to continue doing this for as long as you guys will have us. And you know, we just love the music that that comes out from this band, and we love being creative. You know, we love the feedback from the fans. It seems like the more that we do, the more the fans like. So yeah, we're just going to keep putting it out there until we just physically cannot anymore.
Thank you so much for your.
Thanks a
All the
lot.
best.
And hopefully we'll see you guys on the road and pick up the album in a couple of weeks. And check out the bundle pack. We also have Jag Panzer merchandise on the Jag Panzer website. So check that out. There's hats and pins and all kinds of stuff. So and they're reasonably priced. So you know, pick up the comic when the new release comes out. It's part of the bundle, and you'll get the second edition of the comic. You'll really enjoy it. It's a high quality, high gloss comic.
Thank you, Harry. All the best.
All right. See you guys later.
Take care.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.